So interior of my Siren was in a very bad shape. It was the bunks were completely loose, and it was just very ugly with a lot of mildew and mold. I don't know if you can see in this clip, but there are two rear floating chambers that somebody punched a bunch of holes in, and it would totally fill up with the water, and that took a long time to dry, and then I had to fix those holes. So in order to repair the bunks, the first thing that I had to do was I had to position the hull on the ground to where the bunks would really align back with the hull without having to apply too much pressure. And then after I did that, I lifted up the bunk as far as I could. I sanded inside and cleaned real well. Using 202, I cleaned after the sanding. I used a 202 cleaner, and then I used 5200 marine epoxy to glue basically the bunk back to the hull. For this delamination is most likely because the boat wasn't resting correctly on the trailer, and I noticed that the boat was resting with all its weight on the trailer bunks instead of on a roller, which is in the middle, is the hardest, toughest part of the hull. So in order to avoid this, I made sure that I adjusted the trailer correctly to hold the weight of the boat in the center. Here you can see how the boat is resting down on the ground, and the bunk is now aligned with the hull, and I used the blocks, cement blocks, and the 2x4s to apply the pressure so that the glue takes as good as possible. This 3M epoxy 5200, and I left it like that for a couple of days. Here I blew the other side, and also I primed and possibly painted the inside of the hull as well. I decided not to paint the bunks because they were in a bad shape. Also, there's a piece in the bow where the bow eye goes in, and there's a lot of pressure that goes there. That was all rotted, so I put a new piece of wood in there. You can't really see it. I didn't take a really good picture of it. And here's a picture of that bow piece of wood that was completely rotten, and I put a new piece of teak there. Hopefully it'll be good for next 100 years. And this is very important because a lot of pressure happens here from the bow line and also from the forestay. And here I applied the fiberglass on the corners of the interior bunks, which in order to do I had to sand down again to the fiberglass, and I had added several layers there to add more strength there because it seemed like that was a critical area. And I also sanded. Finally I painted the interior of the hull. And finally I painted the interior with Interlux Bright Side, 1 coat of primer and 2 coats of finish. And that concluded my interior fixings of the interior of the hull.